How's it going, everyone? This is your Astrology Horoscope for June 28th, 2023. I'm astrologer Alex Skiles, and welcome to the Moonbase. Thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it. I hope you all are having a great week. Today, we have a lot of lovely water energy. The Sun in Cancer, Mercury in Cancer, and Juno all piled together, conjuncting the Moon in Scorpio on the South Node, trining over to the Sun and Mercury and Juno, with Saturn as well, retrograde, creating a grand trine, a grand water trine, for that matter. So, what this really means is that our emotions are really syncing up today. And there's a lot of healing energy going on, not just from this grand water trine, but this Venus and Leo trining Chiron and Aries. We'll go this way with it, right? I just feel like today there's a lot of receptive energy between our relationships, our creative partnerships, our romantic partnerships, and a lot of support. And I feel like this Leo, in shadow, this Venus and Leo in shadow trining Chiron and Aries, like it's really, it's like an ego boost, and an ego boost that we haven't had in a long time. And Mars, a couple days ago, kind of it trined over to this Chiron and kind of kicked it into gear. But this is where we're seeing the kind of physical manifestation of that. Venus is the physical manifestation of our creativity, right? So today, I think there's just a lot of like awareness towards other people, and the people we really love and care about. I mean, it's kind of like when someone really notices you, like what you're doing. It's like, hey, I really see what you're doing. Like, I really appreciate that. And it's having an impact on me, emotionally. And I find it very inspiring and healing. Coming off that Moon square Pluto last night, I mean, definitely the Moon opposing Chiron yesterday. Like, this is definitely a huge kind of turn of events. And this is kind of helping us clear that. So, with the clearing of these kinds of deep emotions, it's pretty phenomenal because this grand trine here from the Sun to the Moon in Scorpio, to Saturn in Pisces retrograde, to the Sun and Mercury in Cancer with Juno here. Like, this is the last time the Moon is gonna cross the South Node in Scorpio. And this is being disposited by Pluto. So this is the last. Not only is this the last time that the Moon is gonna cross the South Node in Scorpio for 18 years, this is the last time in our lives we're gonna see the Moon dispositing this aspect, or Pluto dispositing the Moon on the South Node. And this is like an ultimate clearing here. And it's kind of like a final showdown in a sense of the deep unconscious rooted fears that Pluto and Scorpio placements tend to bring up. Pluto being the ruler of Scorpio, it's just it really brings up a lot of deep rooted fears. And there's just a lot of supportive energy and really healing, warm energy between our relationships and the conversations we're having with this Mercury conjunct the Sun. It's just giving us the okay to just kind of speak where we haven't been, completely honest with ourselves, where we've kind of let the fear get in the way of the truth. Scorpio and Pluto, especially on the South Node, like it wants to dive deep, and it's been trying to get deep, deep, deep to find the truth and to get to the bottom of things. Like Scorpio really wants to get to the bottom of things, and it's got to go deep into a dark place sometimes to really get to the bottom of that. And it's like we've been in that deep, dark place. Like we've gone to the bottom here with this South Node and with this Pluto and Capricorn. We're out of the eclipses, of these nodes being in Scorpio and Taurus. And this is it. This is really it, actually, because by the time the moon is going to come back around to Aries and Taurus here in another 15 days, the nodes are moving on to Aries and Libra. So this is really it. So I think today we're really experiencing a lot of healing to a lot of deep-rooted fears that we've had come up with this South Node. And it's clearing a lot of unconscious blocks. And this water trine is allowing it to just kind of flow. And that flow is really happening in exchange and the conversations we're having with the people we really care about. On top of this, trine from Chiron to Venus, like these wounds within our unconscious is really like wanting to express themselves, and it wants to channel itself creatively. And this water energy, like between Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces, like this to me is always my favorite creative spiritual energy. Always. It's at its highest vibration. It's like the most clear stream you can imagine. It's like the stream you can just walk up to and drink out of it and know that it's the purest water you could ingest into your body. So this is just a really healing energy today, a completely different vibration from where we came from yesterday. And like even yesterday morning with the moon opposing Chiron, with that bringing up a lot of relationship stuff and just wounds towards that and things that were karmically playing out from 2014 and 15. It's like I woke up to people out of my window screaming at each other, just like, on some breakup kind of shit. It was crazy. And that aspect was exact right at around 7 a.m. and I'm like, oh shit, here we go. And it just really reflected that in a really crazy way. And today it's just, now we're moving through that. Like this water energy is allowing the channels to just flow, so yeah, really see where the river takes you, because this is really a one-of-a-kind day. This is the best day of the week by far. This is my favorite day. And water trines are my absolute favorite. If you have a lot of water placements or 4th, 8th, and 12th house placements, I mean, you're really feeling this. Like you're really feeling the flow and the vibration of this beautiful, emotional, creative energy that's happening. And the conversations that we're really having, like we're not afraid to speak our emotions with this Mercury, Sun, Juno conjunction, and like if you're really getting into some loving situations, maybe some people that you're really committing to, a new partner that you're committing to, a new creative group that you're committing to, like there's real conversations happening around what the future is going to be. And with the Saturn, activating this grand trine, like Saturn is making it concrete and long-term. And maybe these things that you've been trying to build creatively really are on a long-term scale. And this is serious, matters in a sense of like, hey, like this is what I want the future to be. Whether it's a creative partnership or someone you're falling in love with, or, like that energy is really starting to like kind of show itself, and we've been thinking about it. And maybe, with Mercury not quite caught up to the sun, it's got another day or so before it really catches up to the sun. So maybe, like these thoughts, maybe you haven't quite been able to say how you feel yet. Because by the time Mercury and the sun really get together here in the next day or so, then it's like, it's just going to come out of you, instinctively, intuitively, without even thinking about it. And that gut instinct, you're going to know the right time to say what you need to say. to whoever you need to say it to, whether it's someone you really care about or maybe a family member, your mother. Call your mother. This is that call your mother energy. A lot of great feminine communication going on, which is really beautiful. But speaking of the feminine energy, I mean, Venus is behind Mars. So it's, Mars is leading the way here. And that feminine energy is really being kind of like it's like the Chariot card, it's being carried by two strong figures, strong beasts for that matter. Like Venus is being carried really before it goes retrograde. And by the time it goes retrograde, it's going to release itself and it's going to have to restructure some things it needs to think about, especially related to how it wants to express itself, how we want to create, and certain things that come up with our ego, And what I'm really loving about this Venus trine Chiron too, and definitely after Mars trined it the other day, since we went through this Mars Uranus square, from Friday through the weekend to Monday morning, like there's a lot of ego clashes, a lot of people expressing just like they have that, I want that, how come I can't have that? And just, when we get into the fixed signs, like there's a lot of unconscious Freudian projections that we're not even aware of how we're projecting our jealousies or insecurities. And especially with this moon on the south node here, like we're clearing a lot of that today that came up with that Mars square Uranus, a lot of just like, fuck, like I really like just need to express myself. I've been stuck, and that was really triggered by seeing other people kind of, not have an issue to do so, because that's what that Mars square Uranus was about, is some are just really stuck in where they're at and not feeling like they can move forward. And on the other end, in the Mars and Leo Venus side, it's like, hey, I'm over here doing whatever the fuck I want and I don't really care what you think. And that triggered a lot of that. And today I really feel like we're kind of like understanding what it is that we need to do individually, yeah, today's a beautiful day. Today's a really healing day. And at the same time, we're going to have the moon opposing Jupiter as well, which is really an interesting mirroring aspect of like what we're manifesting, what we're expanding, and just like what we're committed to, And I feel like emotionally, we know what we want. We know exactly how to get there now, especially with this last time with the moon crossing the south node. Like we know exactly how to get there. We know what we want. And Taurus knows what it wants. And if it ain't what it wants, it doesn't even bother. It's only going to go for the highest value. And it's the Jupiter and Taurus, it's freeing us from being stuck. Taurus can get stuck, and it's really allowing us to experience the freedom of not being stuck. And definitely what we're really building to long term, because Taurus moves slow, like next April, by the time Jupiter and Uranus get together, this is when we're really gonna see the sudden kind of windfalls of like, holy shit, like I've really worked for this and here's the results, and it's real. And it's gonna seem sudden, but not really. I said that the other day, but this moon is really bringing this up today, and we're feeling deeply about like what we've been doing, and the hard work that we've been doing to really kind of like face ourselves, face our fears, with the South Node and Pluto and Capricorn. I mean, there's just, and really kind of releasing and letting go of these like desires to want to control situations. Like we're starting to really experience a little bit of freedom from that unconscious um, kind of friction that we've been having. When Pluto moved into Aquarius in March, it was really exciting. We kind of jumped into an Aquarian portal and kind of caught a window into the next dimension of like being liberated. I feel like Pluto is really liberating us when it's going to be moving through Aquarius. Like, I definitely felt that personally. Like, I felt that when Pluto was in Aquarius, it was just easier to just accept, like, you know what, like if things don't look the way that I want them to be based upon my values, like it's okay because like it doesn't have to be the norm. Aquarius doesn't really want to exist in the norm anyway. So Pluto and Aquarius is just really showing us like, hey, like we don't have to like be stuck in that place. And if we're going to transform, you just got to accept that situations are going to be unconventional and may seem to be abnormal and may go against our values. And that's totally fine. And I personally felt with Pluto and Aquarius that it was much easier to be in that place because with Pluto and Capricorn, especially, it's been there since 2008. So we have like, how many years is that? 15 years roughly to look at and know what that transit was like. There was a lot of deep, unrooted issues that came along with, the desire to just want to control things and it's got to look this way. And if it's not that way, it really gets difficult. So with that Pluto and Aquarius, it's really allowing us to be liberated from that. And yeah, this is the last time we're going to see this moon on the South Node with Pluto and Capricorn. So we're really clearing these unconscious blocks and desires that really do not serve us and that are only creating a deeper hole, because when we get too far into the South Node, it's like, especially in Scorpio, it's like we're digging a grave here, and today it's like we're fucking scraping through that shit and really starting to free ourselves. So yeah, today's a beautiful day. It's a really amazing day. This is the best day of the week. And this Black Moon Lilith too, like it's still close to Venus and Mars. And it's very passionate, and the healing can be very passionate. It can be a very romantic evening, very passionate evening. Because when we get that Lilith energy, things get really deep and intense. I know Lilith gets associated with a lot of dark shit, but to me, it's just very passionate, and it knows how to get what it wants at all costs, for sure. Yeah. Let's see what we got in the cards today. And we got the Nine of Cups. So we're just kind of sitting in our abundance today. Like we are appreciating our abundance, and just saying, you know what, like I'm comfortable right here where I'm at. This is very Jupiter and Taurus card. I really just feel like we're starting to see the results of Jupiter, especially with these nodes kind of coming off of where Jupiter's been. And once the nodes leave Jupiter officially, leaves Taurus and Scorpio, it's like the training wheels are off, and it's like, hey, you're on your own now. You gotta expand and bring in whatever you're gonna materialize on your own. And the nodes have been saying, it's like, I've been showing you the way. I've been helping you see exactly where your karmic destiny is trying to unfold itself. And to me, this card is just really like accepting that, we got all we need. We have all we need to create the future. So thank you all so much. I really appreciate it. I hope you all have a lovely Wednesday, and I will see you tomorrow.